Remember the first Purge? I do. The Purge, Anarchy was directed by DeMonaco, stars Frank Grillo, Zoe Soul, and I'm going to butcher this name, but Carmen Ejogal. And there's pretty much three different stories going on. One is Frank Grillo's character, who is kind of mysteriously out for revenge in the middle of Purge night. As you probably know from the trailers or the first movie, the Purge is one day, it's about 12 hours, I think, where all crime, including murder, is legal. So Frank Grillo's out for revenge, and there's these mom and her daughter, and they kind of get, their house starts to get attacked, and then there's a young couple whose car breaks down, and there's these three stories, and they like start interlocking and all that kind of stuff. Now, I absolutely hated the first Purge movie. It's one of the very few movies that I've given F's over the past 2 years. It was awful, and even Ethan Hawke couldn't save it, which is really saying something. And one of the main problems that I and a lot of other people had with it is that it was very self-contained and it had a very interesting concept that would involve it to be more spread out. Instead, it decided to be this very small, poorly written horror movie, while this movie does something different, and that it spreads out. It's this whole city, and it kind of manages to be something a lot more, because when you have a horror movie, it's got to be close quarters. You can't really have a large-scale horror movie unless it's something like a zombie epidemic, whereas in this case, it's not really a horror movie. It's more of a thriller action movie, and it's spread out, and for that reason, it works. This movie is so much better than the first one. It improves in every possible way on the first Purge. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying it's an amazing movie. It's not. It's a good movie, though, and that is, compared to the first one, that might as well be an A+, because, wow, it improved in literally every way. The cast, even though I love Ethan Hawke and Lena Headey, just Frank Grillo alone was better than the entire cast. The characters were actually likable, unlike pretty much 90% of the characters from the first movie. There was actually some clever writing going on. There was some taking advantage of this concept and having a little bit of social commentary, although it didn't really weigh down or really wasn't integrated that much like it was in something like Snowpiercer, but it was still there, and for that reason, it worked. Frank Grillo, as I've said, was very good. He is a really, really underrated actor. He has really great small roles in a lot of movies, and hopefully this can help him break out because he's great. One of his recent roles includes Captain America, the Winter Soldier, where he played the kind of head of S.H.I.E.L.D. security, but he's great in this movie. The two names I mentioned before that I'm not going to try to pronounce again, Zoe Soul, which I still think I'm pronouncing wrong, and someone else's as the mother-daughter, they were very good as well. They kind of grounded it, because Frank Grillo was kind of this gruff, badass kind of guy, whereas these two kind of helped keep it grounded. The couple, whose actors I don't feel like looking up, because my phone, I dropped it on the ground, and I don't feel like looking at it, they were all right. I mean, they weren't great, but they weren't like bad. They didn't take you out, but they were there, I guess. One thing that I did kind of dislike about this movie was the cinematography, because a lot of the cooler action scenes, especially towards the end, were a little hard to follow because of how shaky the camera got. It was a little too dark in places. Some of the camera filters were a little weird, like it made the screen too fuzzy, and there could have been some more shots that established how big the universe was. There was this movie, because there were one or two shots where it kind of would pan out or something like that, and you could just kind of see all the stuff that's happening, and that was really cool, and they should have had more of that. Some of the dialogue could have been a little stronger. I mean, it was, like I said, light years. The script was light years ahead of the original, but it still could have used a little bit of improvement. But all in all, The Purge Anarchy is a great, great sequel. Not great movie, but it's huge improvement on the first one. Even if you hated the first one like I did, if you go in with low expectations, maybe it was because my expectations were so low that I liked it, but if you go in with expectations that are low, you actually have a good time. It's entertaining, it's kind of thrilling. Near the end, I was actually kind of into it, and that was good. I'm going to give The Purge Anarchy a B, which, like I said, it might as well be an A+, considering it's The Purge. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.